505, formerly known as Warehouse 508. We used to be on 1st and Roma, now we're at 202 Central. Always had amazing after school programming, but also events and shows. And so I never was able to take any of the classes, but I was always at shows at Warehouse 505. Well, Warehouse 508. The poetry shows I would go to, they had really good, like, hip-hop and metal shows, music events, and I was always there, and I was, I was one of those kids who just was, like, had a lot of energy and always wanted to be doing something, so Warehouse offered a safe opportunity for me to be around other people my age, and then from there I just was hooked and eventually was asked to teach dance class at Warehouse. And then from there, after teaching dance classes for a while, they realized that they needed an events coordinator, and I got the job, and it was really, really awesome to be able to kind of transition from youth to kind of like a teacher, and then into more of an admin position.
So my name is Thierry Gonzales. I ended up at Warehouse 505 about 8 years ago, when it was formerly known as Warehouse 508. I became the executive director for 7 years, and recently stepped away from the executive director position to focus more on fund development and social enterprise, creating a system to try and self-sustain financially in the current financial crisis that most nonprofits are facing right now. Right. We're trying to figure it out, and so it made a lot of sense back in October for me to step away as the executive director, bring somebody else on to manage. And let me go and do what I'm good at, and that's running social enterprise and raising money and trying to just generate a funding stream to not be so dependent on government money.
Yeah, so we have multiple funding sources. One of the funding sources is the city of Albuquerque, has been very generous to us. And then we also have the grant process of trying to get grants, and then donations from community members. However, we're finding ourselves in a situation due to the economic status of the whole world right now, a little bit at a disadvantage than usual. Our funding was cut by a significant portion, not due to anyone's fault, really just due to the fact that we're in a pretty serious recession as a whole world, and all nonprofits right now are struggling the same way. So right now we're operating at a less than optimal amount of funding.
I did get into screen printing, and I think that's an art. I think the art of screen printing is cool, and I really have a passion for screen printing, and I'm kind of a t-shirt nerd.
And so we're kind of in a chicken or the egg kind of situation where it's like we need to put funding into that space so that we can fundraise, but then if you don't have the funding for the fundraiser, so we're kind of trying to think outside of the box of how we can produce that, and one of the ways that we're doing that is through social enterprise. So downstairs we have a screen printing area, which is one of the classes that we teach, but there's also a business aspect to it.
For me, I'm more passionate about the youth entrepreneur side of things, because you can be an entrepreneur doing anything, right? You can be a youth entrepreneur as an artist. You can be a DJ. You can be a painter. You can be a clothing designer. You can do anything.
Oh my gosh, I think it was imperative. I think it was imperative to my well-being and to my safety. I think in Albuquerque it's so easy to find ways to get in trouble. But Warehouse provides this safe, sober environment for people to just come and be themselves, their true selves. And right now we're not doing as many events because we have some construction going on. But at the old Warehouse, it was so important because there's the skate park, there's the roller rink, there's the mall, and there's the movies. Other than that, there's not a lot of places for young people to go and experience art and music away from adults and away from drinking. Even all ages shows, you're still in space with other, older people, and alcohol is still in the premise, even if it's separated, it's still there. So Warehouse being a safe and sober event space that's focused mostly on youth is imperative because it's just another space for people to go and be away from trouble.
I think entrepreneurship within itself is an art form. And I think for me, where my passion really comes in is giving kids an opportunity to do what they love, but at the same time make money doing it, and teaching kids the value of what they do and their worth, and making sure that kids know, how not to be taken advantage of.
Yeah. Whew. If we're talking about testimonials, I mean, you can like pick out a kid and they're gonna come and talk about what this space means to them. A lot of our kids are alternative. Maybe they're homeschooled, maybe they're unschooled, maybe they're charter schooled, and those schools don't have the same after school possibilities as other schools that have football or chess or any of those things. So it really offers them a space to come, be social with other people their age, and then also express themselves fully. We believe in kids here being completely who they are. And we're not here to manage or judge them for who they are. We're not here to treat them as children, but as peers. And for a young person, that can do a lot for their self-esteem and also for their mental well-being. We've definitely had students here who maybe were having a really rough time with their mental wellness and have said that coming here and just being around other peers and adults who treat them as respected humans has really changed their mental wellness from a negative to a positive. So a lot of students have gone from really deep, dark spaces and have used the arts to kind of elevate themselves and get their mental wellness back on track.
Nice.
What I would love to see is programs inspiring kids, giving kids opportunities to be creative. I mean, beyond just offering a safe space.
Yeah.
I get it. The bar is low. Most of these programs are just really like, hey, we're just offering a safe space. What happened to, let's change some lives, man?
Yeah.
What happened to that? No, it's the bar is so low that people are just like, we're keeping them off the streets. That's not doing anything, man. Yeah, it might lower the crime rate a little bit, but at the end of the day, what is it that you really want?
We do change our classes sometimes based on what the youth want, so we're very youth-led, where if a student comes up with an idea and they're like, hey, I think this would be a really cool class, we're going to do what we can do in our power to make that class happen. So right now, because of that, we have a podcast class, a beats production class, a sewing class, mural arts, I'm missing a couple, DJ,
yeah.
metal, and then every Thursday we host a open practice for breakdancers and open styles hip hop dancers. So currently we're open from Monday to Thursday for classes. Our office hours are 12 to 4, so students are able to come in at that time if they want to come and just use the space. But then our classes go from 4 to 8 p.m. And our schedule is Monday, Wednesdays, and Tuesday, Thursdays for our classes. And then we save Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for events. Yeah, all of our instructors are phenomenal, and again, they're people doing the thing. And so that also shows these young people that arts can be a career if you'd like it to be.
Yeah.
Is it hard? Most definitely.
Yeah.
But is it worth it? Totally. And all of the instructors are modeling that to these young people, that you can do this and you can be an artist.